Hey guys, hope everybody's doing really well. This is going to be kind of a long video, so I'm just going to give you a heads up on that right now. Let me just give you an idea of what is going to be in the video and where, so if you need to skip ahead, you can. So I'm going to start off with a meme. Okay, one of the feedback items I got from you guys was you liked the couple of videos where I started out with a meme or a joke, so I'll start with a meme. Then I'm going to kind of go over just the results I saw from the survey from today, or I guess Monday. And then I also want to share some of the things that you guys shared with me. I want to give a shout out to some birthdays because this is kind of a not so great time to have a birthday when you're stuck inside and you can't really see people. So I'm going to give a shout out to my birthdays of anyone who had a birthday since we've been out or over the next couple weeks through spring break. So that's about 8 people, I think, or 6. 6 people. So I'm going to give shout outs to birthday people, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into the lesson. So let me start off with the meme. The meme is from Lily. So here we go. Here's the meme that one of the memes that Lily sent. And you get it? It is a math thing, right? Remember those bars right there? I mean, absolute value, which is always what? Positive. I love it, Lily. That was amazing. All right. So the next thing I want to go over is the results from the survey from today. So here's what I found when I asked you guys what you found helpful. And so overwhelmingly, you guys like the Nearpod. So that's good because I really like it too. 33 out of 39 said that you like that or find it helpful. So we'll be using some more of those over these next few weeks. Quizzes was also a popular one. The catch-up day on Friday, I wasn't surprised. I expected that would be good, but I'll probably continue doing those, not this week because you've got spring break coming up, but after that, my plan is to probably, I can't promise this, but probably have a catch-up day each Friday. You guys also said Zoom, and let me just quickly say what I've decided to do about Zoom, at least for this week. What I'm doing with Zoom is on the side of the blog, you'll see that there is basically an open meeting every Monday through Friday between 11 and 12. So you can pop in at any point in time if you have any questions. So rather than having like everybody in the class come together and we go through everything, what I'll do instead is let you work at your own pace. And if you have a question, come in at any point in time between 11 and 12 and I'll be there to answer your questions. After spring break, we may go back and have an actual like class, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, this week with those open office hours. And then, so yeah, thank you for answering the survey because that really will help me help you guys. Okay, next I also want to share some of the things that you guys shared with me. Just because since we can't really see each other, I think it's good to just kind of hear, even if you're not hearing directly from people. I just want to share what I heard from you guys. So a lot of you guys have been doing some cooking, which is amazing because I talked about, I think Rachel made some banana bread last week. Ava made lasagna. Grace said she's been doing some cooking. Somebody else, and I don't have that on here. Oh, Marie, cake pops. Oh my gosh, I freaking love cake pops. They are amazing, and I want some. Marie also said that her mom got a pool for them, and so they got in. I guess it was like crazy super cold, which I bet. I can't wait till summertime when we can get in the pool. Hopefully we can like use our neighborhood pool. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully by then everything will be cool. Let's see. Jordan had me laugh because she said she's just stuck at home with her weird cat. So I have so many questions about this. Your weird cat. I need to know more. You can't just stop at that. What else? Arpit said he found his Harry Potter wand under his bed and he thinks his sister hid it there. Probably. Okay. Peyton just got certified by the Red Cross as an official like babysitter, which is really cool because my daughter Mackenzie is trying to do the same thing. So congrats, Peyton. That's really neat. And good luck to you with that. Let's see. Devin is making the city of Atlanta in Minecraft, which also sounds so cool. You guys are so insanely creative. I love hearing all this stuff. And I would love to see that too, Devin, when you finish that. Because he said he's going to take that and put it together with some other cities to make like a whole world. So I don't know if this is collaborative and you're doing it with other people or you're doing it all yourself, Devin, but either way, it sounds really neat. Let's see. Annabelle Young said that she has enjoyed her time, and she hasn't gone insane yet, but she's sure it will happen soon. All I have to say about that is no comment. Love you, Annabelle. Let's see who else. Grayson said he's done nothing out of the ordinary. Well, Grayson, like nothing you ever do is ordinary, and that's what makes you so cool. So I just thought that was interesting that you said nothing out of the ordinary when I think you're the same person who said normal is a setting on a washing machine. Normal is boring. So, anyways, Citasia, happy birthday to your mom. Claire apparently just learned how to ride a bike, which is really cool. That's a lot of fun. And Claire, you use like a million bazillion exclamation points on your learning how to ride a bike. I've never seen that many exclamation points in my whole entire life. So obviously you're super excited. Congrats. And hopefully that'll be something to kind of keep you occupied over these next few weeks. David said he was staying frosty. Okay, yeah, whatever that means. I guess I'm just old. Yeah, slang. Cool, I guess. Yeah, all right. Vinny said he has a wasp in his house, so he locked himself in his room with his laptop. Dude, I would be right there with you. I 100% understand. I don't do wasps. I don't do bees. Yeah, no, not so much. Never been stung. Don't plan to ever be. Lizzie said that she did something, she saw something online where people are making rainbows and posting them on their house or windows or something. And actually, it's really cool. Lizzie, you said you did that. I actually saw something similar where people are making hearts and posting them like on their windows or whatever. So kind of the same thing. And just to kind of cheer people up during this rough time. So Lizzie, I thought that was neat because you're doing it with rainbows and I've seen it with hearts. So I just love how a lot of people are trying to make the best of this crazy situation. And let's see what else. Caroline says she's been drawing with sidewalk chalk. Me too. In fact, we spent like all day, I think it was Saturday, drawing on our driveway with sidewalk chalk. So it sounds like you guys have been up to a lot of fun stuff. I'm glad everybody's making the best of all this. And speaking of sidewalk chalk, let's see here. Here are some of the pictures that we drew on our sidewalk, or our driveway rather. And let's see here. Here's another one. Oh, rainbow. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, not Marie. Who was that? That was Lizzie. Let's see. My kid's drawing a heart, our whole driveway. So yeah, we had fun with that too. All right, so the next thing I wanted to give a shout out to was everybody who had, let's see, everyone who had birthdays over either since we've been out or over like from then until spring break. So about 6 of you guys. So let's see here. Sebastian, Ella, Alex, David, Claire, and Malachi. So happy birthday to all of you guys since y'all have had to either celebrate your birthday while we're in like this quarantine or you will be. So happy birthday to all of you guys. All right, so now let's get into our actual lesson. All right, so I know some of you had trouble with the Ed puzzle that I put on the blog on Monday. I think Ed Puzzle had like some issues with their website, and yeah, I think it got overwhelmed because several of you were able to complete it, but several of you couldn't. So some of you have seen this, some of you haven't. But if we're solving a two-step equation, okay, your first step is going to be to determine the operation that is farthest from the variable, okay? And let me back up just a sec. So I use this party analogy, okay? And so when I say this party analogy, basically what I said was, if you're having a party at your house, you might have your best friend there and you have some acquaintances there. Well, at the end of the party, when you're wrapping everything up and it's time to go, who's gonna leave first? Your acquaintances probably will leave first. And whoever is closest to you, your best friend, is going to leave last, okay? Now, the way that this applies to two-step equations is that your equation has, you're solving for your variable, and in the analogy, you are the variable, okay? So you're going to be isolated at home at the end. You're going to be left alone, and the purpose of an equation is to solve for that variable. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look at MSG page 7, where we've got that analogy right here. So again, it says two-step equations are like having a party at your house. You are the variable, okay? And the operation farthest from the variable or farthest from you will leave first. Okay, so you're going to undo that one first. The operation closest to you is like your BFF, and that's going to stay the longest or leave last. All right, and so in other words, if this is our equation right here, 9y minus 5 equals 8, you're the variable. At the end of the party, you're going to be left at your home by yourself. The purpose of solving this equation is to find out what y equals. So we're trying to get y all by itself. All right, so we've got to get rid of the 5 and we have to get rid of the 9. All right, well, if we look at this equation, the 9 is closest to the y. Okay, the 5 is a little bit further. So the 5 is what's going to leave first. So notice that in the equation, the 5 is being subtracted. So to apply that inverse operation, we would add 5. And so this equation is right down here. All right, so the first step is to add 5 on both sides of the equation. Remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to do the other side to keep the equation balanced or equal. All right, this leaves us with 9y equals, and this is 13. Okay, now we've got to get rid of the 9. So this is just a one-step equation at this point. You know what to do with that. So since this is multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by 9. And that would leave us with y equals 1 4/9. Remember to always check your answer with substitution also. So once you get your answer, you would substitute that back into the equation to check your answer. All right, so let's look at the examples at the top of page 7. Okay, and at the top of this page, we have this table up here. I have 4 different equations, and what I want to do first is make sure that you understand which operation to perform first, okay? Because you don't have that question with a one-step equation, you have literally just that one step. So with these 2-step equations, it is important to do them in the correct order. All right, so the first one is already done for you, okay? We have x plus 8 divided by -2 equals -6. Well, if I was to solve this, again, what I want to look for first is the operation that is farthest from the variable. Well, my variable is x, okay? Whoops, sorry. All right, so with the x, I have 8 and I have the -2, okay? The -2 is farthest from my variable. So just like an acquaintance at the party, that -2 is going to leave first. So my first step would be to perform the inverse operation with that -2. Since that's division, I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. That would be the first step. After multiplying both sides by -2, then I would have to get rid of the 8. Excuse me. So I would subtract 8 from both sides. Okay. All right. The second equation, -3x plus 14 equals 44. So again, my first step is going to be to do the inverse of the farthest operation. Well, if I look at x, I've got -3 and I have 14. Okay, both of those values are on the same side of the equation as the x. All right, so the value that is farthest from my x is 14. So that's what I need to get rid of first. So my first step there would be to subtract 14 from both sides. Okay, then I need to get rid of the -3. So since that's multiplication, I would divide both sides by -3. Okay. All right, the next equation, 4x minus -3 equals 15. All right, so looking at my variable, I've got 4 and I have the 3 here. The value that is farthest from my variable is the 3. So that's what I'm going to get rid of first. So instead of subtracting -3, the inverse would be to add -3 to both sides of the equation. Okay. Then after I add 3 to both sides, I'm left with the 4. So since that's currently multiplication, I would divide both sides by 4. All right, and then this last example on the table, okay, I have x plus 5 divided by 3 equals 10. All right, so again, looking at the side with the variable, I have a 5 and I have a 3. All right, the value that is farthest from the variable is 3. So that's what I need to get rid of first. So since that's division, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. And then I need to get rid of the 5, so I'll subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, so the purpose of this up here was just, again, to make sure you can identify which operation you will perform first, which one you will perform second, because it will matter which order you do these in. Okay. All right, so again, you're going to get rid of, your first step is to get rid of whatever's farthest from the variable. Okay, just like an acquaintance at the party, the acquaintances go first, and then whoever's closest to you, your best friend, will leave last. All right, so now let's put this into practice with 1 through 6 at the bottom of the page. Okay, so I have, let's see here. I've rewritten these to give myself more space. I would suggest you guys do that too. Just like we did with one-step equations, you do have to show all of your steps. Okay, so it is important that you understand how to show these steps. All right, I understand doing these at home. It's really tempting to just say, okay, I know how to get the answer and be done with it. But you've got to know how to show these steps, because the equations are going to get much more complicated. And if you get to 7, 8 next year and you don't know how to show your steps, you're going to be lost. So please make sure that you are not just concerned with solving for the correct answer, but make sure you understand how to show your steps. All right, so the very first problem at the bottom of page 7, I have 3y minus 10 equals 8. So we're solving for y. So again, what we need to get rid of first, or let me back up. So we want y by itself, so that means we need to get rid of 3 and we need to get rid of the 10. All right, so we've got to figure out which value to get rid of first, or which operation we're going to perform first. All right, so I noticed that the 3 is the closest to my variable, so it's like the BFF, that's going to leave last. 10 is farther from the variable, so that's like my acquaintance, it's going to leave first. So to get rid of that 10, I need to perform the inverse operation, which is going to be, instead of subtracting 10, I'm going to add 10. Make sure that you show that on both sides of your equation. Again, you must do that to keep your equation balanced. Okay. All right, on the left side of the equation, that minus 10 and plus 10, remember that's like a zero pair, so that cancels out. I'm left with 3y equals, and here I have 8 plus 10 is 18. All right, now it's simple, it's just a one-step equation. So I'm gonna get rid of the 3 by dividing by 3 on both sides. That gives me y equals, and 18 divided by 3 is 6, okay? Do not stop there. Make sure that you substitute your answer back into the equation to check it. All right, so when I check, I'm going to rewrite my original equation, but instead of putting y, I'm going to put my solution. So 3 times 6 minus 10 equals 8. All right, if I work this out, I have 18 minus 10 equals 8. Well, 18 minus 10 is 8. Okay, so that works out. So I know that my answer was correct. Okay. Always do that. Always, always. I can't stress that enough. All right, number 2. The format of this is very similar to the format of the first problem. Okay, so I'm solving for a. I need to get that by itself. All right, so with the a on that same side of the equation, I have -7 and I have 3. -7 is closest, so it's going to leave last. So I'm going to get rid of the 3 first. So the inverse operation of adding 3 is going to be to subtract 3. So we'll subtract 3 on both sides of my equation. Okay, this leaves us with -7a equals, and guys, you've got to be super careful with this. Don't make a mistake here with your negatives. Okay, -4 minus 3 is the same as -4 plus -3. Okay, that's going to give me -7. All right, now I'm going to divide both sides by -7. And that gives me a equals -7 divided by -7 is 1. Okay, then we'll check our answer. So -7 times 1 plus 3 equals -4. If I solve this, that gives me -7 plus 3 equals -4. Well, -7 plus 3 is -4. So I know that this answer was correct. All right. Okay, problem number 3 is a little bit different format from the first 2. Okay, so again, you want to figure out which step you're going to perform first. All right, so with the x, I have 12 and I have this -5. Which one is farther from the variable? Okay, look at that carefully. Is the 12 farther or is the -5 farther? The -5 is farther from the variable. So that's what I'm going to get rid of first. So in this equation, it's being divided by -5. So my inverse is to multiply by -5 on both sides. All right, on the left side of the equation, again, those cancel out and I'm left with x minus 12 equals, over here, -11 times -5 is positive 55. Okay. All right, next up, I need to get rid of the 12. So instead of subtracting, I'm going to add 12 on both sides. That leaves me with x equals, and this is 67. Okay. Let's check our answer. So I'm going to substitute my answer back into the original equation. So I have 67 minus 12 divided by -5 equals -11. All right, when I work this out, 67 minus 12 is going to be 55. So it's 55 divided by -5 equals -11. If I work this out, 55 divided by -5 is -11. Okay, so I know that, again, this answer right here is right. All right, problem number 4. Okay, so this one is, my battery almost died, y'all. I would have had a heart attack. Okay, so number 4 is in a similar format to numbers 1 and 2. All right, so we're solving for x. All right, so we need to get rid of 16 and -11. The value that is farthest from the variable leaves first. Okay, the value that's farther from the variable is the -11. All right, so instead of subtracting -11, I'm going to add -11 on both sides. Okay, because again, that's the inverse operation. The inverse of subtraction is addition, so I'm going to add that on both sides. All right, this leaves me with 16x equals, on this side, 43 plus -11 is 32. All right, then I'm going to divide both sides by 16. Okay, this leaves me with x equals 2. All right. Lastly, once I have my answer, I'm going to go back in and substitute to check my answer. So I have 16 times 2 minus -11 equals 43. All right, so 16 times 2 is 32. Now I know minus -11 is going to be the same as plus a positive 11. Okay, and 32 plus 11 does equal 43. So I know that my answer here is correct. All right, number 5. Now every year when I give these problems on this page, number 5 is hands down the one that people miss the most. Okay, there's not even any negatives on this one. That fraction messes people up, so be careful with that. Okay, so and actually number 5 is the exact same format as 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so I need to get rid of the half and 18. All right, the value that is farther from the variable is 18. So I'm going to subtract 18 on both sides. All right, this leaves me with 1/2 x equals, and then 24 minus 18 is 6. Okay, here's where you have to be careful because this is what messes people up. Okay. All right, so first of all, you should know that another way of saying multiplication is of. So this is saying half of x is 6. Okay. Every year people put 3. Okay, but think about it, is half of 3 going to be equal to 6? And the answer to that is no. Okay, but the way you would do this is 2 things. You can either divide both sides by 1/2, okay, because this represents multiplication right here. Or you could also multiply both sides by 2, okay, because dividing by half is the same thing as multiplying by 2. Okay, and I'll show you why. Let me just stick with dividing by half, since that's technically the inverse of what we have here. All right, this gives me x equals, and 6 divided by 1/2, write this over here. 6 divided by 1/2 is the same as 6 times 2/1, okay, which is 12/1 or 12. All right, so x equals 12. Another way to think of that is if you have 6 divided by 1/2, you're saying how many times does 1/2 fit inside of 6? Okay, Well, there are 12 halves inside of 6, okay? Again, you also could have just multiplied both sides by 2, okay? But again, when we get our answer, substitute it back into check. So I have 1/2 times 12 plus 18 equals 24. Half of 12 is 6. And 6 plus 18 does equal 24. So I know that this answer right here is correct. Okay? All right, last problem. Okay, 5x divided by 12 equals 10. All right, so on this one, again, think which value is farthest from the variable. Is it 5 or is it 12? Okay, the value that is farther from the variable is the 12. All right, so that's what I need to get rid of first. Oh, that's not focused. Okay, so since that's dividing by 12, the inverse would be to multiply both sides by 12. That leaves me with 5x equals 120. All right, and then divide both sides by 5. And that will leave you with x equals 120 divided by 5 is going to give us 24. Okay, then we'll check our answer. I can't see that, can you? All right, so check it. So we'll substitute that answer back in. So 5 times 24 divided by 12 equals 10. Okay, 5 times 24 is 120. And 120 divided by 12 does equal 10. So I know that this answer here is correct. Okay. All right, so one more time. Here's just an overview of the entire page. Okay, hopefully that helps. And of course, like I said, if you have questions on anything, feel free to Zoom me, send me a question via the forum, email me, whatever you need to do. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys or talking to you guys soon. Bye.